All right, so at this point, you know all of the steps for how to do a audio and podcast recording for Zencastr, but I've showed it to you all in kind of individual pieces. So in this video, we're going to walk through everything from beginning to end, step by step, all at once, so that you can see how this actually plays out in a real interview. So before the guest arrives, we're going to want to go to Zencastr and head over to Zencastr. You'll either log in or you're going to go to your dashboard here. We're going to create a new episode. You'll see the old test show we created. So I'm going to make a test show 2 episode. So now we've got a test show 2 created. And we'll come back here and I'm going to check my audio input. So I'm going to come here over to Zencastr. And I've got my proper Plantronics microphone selected. Before that, I'm also going to want to check my audio input on Zoom. So I'm going to head over to my Zoom room and we'll open up Zoom. And here we go. And I'm going to come down here and just make sure, again, I've got my proper audio microphone selected. So we are good there. We're now done with the pre-show piece. So now at this point, we would wait for the guest to arrive. So they would join into this Zoom room and we would be chatting. And then the next thing I want to do is send the guest a link to Zencastr. And I'm going to have a few windows open here. So I'm going to resize this to make things easier. So again, to get that link to Zencastr, you're going to come up here. You're going to copy this. And I'm going to open that incognito to simulate a guest joining in. So now the guest, I am showing you the guest experience now. Again, when you do your actual recording, you won't have an incognito window, but you'll actually send that link through the chat on Zoom. So I hit join. And if I were to send that on chat, I would just come here and I would paste that into the chat so that the guest can really quickly get to that. And again, it's going to ask them to allow their microphone. And there we go. The guest is now in here. And then the next piece is you're going to make sure to ask the guest to double check their audio settings. So you say, hey, Mr. Guest or Mrs. Guest or Miss, please hit the gear icon up here and make sure you've got the proper microphone selected, and they'll hit save. And that is all that the guest needs to do. Again, if Zencastr is just not working at any point, you're just seeing issues and it's not going to work out, don't worry, just focus on Zoom as your primary recording audio and make sure that is good there. You also want to ask them to check their audio settings on Zoom. And how they will do that is they come down here to this little gear icon and make sure that they have the proper microphone selected. So just kind of guide them to this on Zoom and say, hey, please click the little arrow next to the mute button and make sure you've got the proper microphone selected on your side. So you want to have them double check that as well. And once you are good and ready to go, you've talked with your guest, you say, hey, we're ready to get started. You are going to come here and you're going to, I'm in my guest Zencastr now. I'm going to come to my Zencastr window and I'm just going to hit record. And so there we go. I always get Zencastr recording typically first, and you see I got my audio waves. I'm going to come over to this, and I'm going to start to record this on Zoom as well. And so we'll record on the computer. And now I've got this recording on Zoom. So now I have two things recording. So there's a very low likelihood that this will break. And if one of them fails, you'll still be okay. So as you'll see on the guest side, they'll see that you're recording on this as well on the Zencastr side. So coming back to my checklist, we have hit record. And once you've got record on Zoom and Zencastr, then you basically just going to dive into your interview and don't worry too much about the recording. Don't even fret about it basically until the end of the episode. So you're going to do your entire interview. And then the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to stop recording on Zencastr. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to hit stop recording. And it's going to take a second for those audio files to upload. You'll see it down here, just uploading. And there we go. All tracks have finished uploading, and it is now safe to close this tab. That might take a little bit longer over an hour episode, but it should typically happen in under about 10 seconds. And your guest is going to get the same thing. And so that's, again, why I just have them. I always stop Zencastr first. And so they'll see this as well. And then your guest is free to exit the window after that. Then over here on Zoom, I'd hit stop recording. I have any kind of post-show banter, chat with the host, which is great for just networking and building that relationship. And so we now have stopped recording on Zencastr, and we stopped recording on Zoom. So again, you'll chat with the guest for a few minutes, just kind of anything there. And then the last and final thing you're going to do is actually export the Zoom audio files into the same folder as your Dropbox or Google Drive. So to do that, you're going to have to end the meeting first. So once the guest is done, you're going to end the meeting for all. And we'll wait here a second while this is actually in process of converting. And again, this will take a lot longer on an hour interview, especially if you do video. This actually goes really quickly if there's no video, but the video takes quite a bit longer to convert. So you might actually be sitting here for about 10 minutes while this happens, if you did a full video recording with this as well. So there we go. And then you're going to choose where you want to save your recordings. Choose a new location, and we're going to go to Dropbox or Google Drive, your apps folder. You're going to go to the Zencastr folder, and I'm now going to go find my test show number 2 that I did. I will choose this, and you have to hit the save button twice. And there you go. Now all the recordings from Zoom and from Zencastr are all in one place, easy for our team to access, and everything is organized. So there you go. That is how you record an intro, and that is how you basically do an entire audio recording for your guests from beginning to end on Zencastr. So as you can see, there's some things to remember. Just follow the checklists so that you don't forget anything. But and if you do, don't worry. That's why we always do the backup, so you have 2 options on how to record.